Nigeria. Today, we gather to celebrate the remarkable achievement, resilience, and contributions of women in Nigeria and around the world. International Women's Day serves as a powerful reminder of the progress we've made towards gender equality and the work that still lies ahead. In Nigeria, women have played pivotal roles in shaping our society, economy, and culture. Their strength, courage, and determination have broken barriers, shattered stereotypes, and inspired generations. Today, we recognize and honor their invaluable contributions in every sphere of life. And truthfully, as we engage in meaningful discussion and reflections today during this webinar, let us reaffirm our commitment to promoting gender equality, empowering women, girls, and creating a more inclusive and equitable society for all to thrive, regardless of gender, religion, or political affinity. I extend my deepest gratitude to our distinguished speakers, panelists, and participants for joining us in this important conversation. Together, we believe that we'll continue to advocate for gender parity, uplift the voices of women, and work towards brighter, more equal future for everyone. Thank you once again for being a part of this significant event. Let us make today's discussion impactful, inspiring, and transformative. Happy International Women's Day. My name is Temitope Aloba. I'm the convener and the host for HR with Temitope Aloba. And this particular event, HR guest speaker event, we do this once in a quarter, and this particular month's event is dedicated to our wonderful, phenomenal, gorgeous, beautiful, outstanding, distinguished women who are shaping our society with their numerous impacts. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. Over to you, Esther.
Okay, hi everyone. Good evening. Well, it's evening. It's after 4. Wherever you're joining from, it's good to have you join us. My name is Esther Elueme, and thank you, Tokwe Aloba, for that wonderful opening speech. So we are still in the International Women's History Month. Yesterday was the D-Day. We had the big day yesterday, the 8th of March, which has been dedicated to celebrate women globally. And I want to believe that everyone who's watching and listening right now, from wherever you are joining us from, you tried to have a good day yesterday. I remember meeting somebody, a very prominent woman yesterday, and I was supposed to actually dress in my corporate attire, wearing all suited, all glammed and all that. And I was on my native, wearing some nice native, and she was like, Esther, wow, I like this. I say, yes, happy International Women's Day. I need to start celebrating myself. Happy International Women's Day. It's actually inspire inclusion, and I'm trying to inspire myself. That's why I'm dressed like this. And she was like, wow, I love that. I like it. So I want to also believe that every one of us, we did something for the women in our lives yesterday. You can never celebrate women enough, can you? If you're with me on this ride,
Of
you
course
might
not.
want to unmute and say, yeah, we're with you.
We are with you.
We're with you,
100. Thank you so much.
We're with you.
Thank you. Before I go deep down into today's event proper, inviting our guest speaker, let me just quickly acknowledge everyone who is on this call. Of course, I can say, TA, you are here, and thank you for hosting this event. We appreciate you, a man who knows how to treat the ladies. Thank you so much. I can see you, Ayomide Badru, Chinelu Bienyem, one of the panelists. Thank you so much. Dua Yogudari, thank you. You're one of them. You're one of the, what will I say, conveners, so to say. Pastor Nikhil Yewuse, thank you. one of the panelists. I can see who else is on this call. I can see Vivian Osigwe, who happens to be a guest speaker. I can see Alimat Salami. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Precious. Welcome. Iwale, thank you. I can see Nancy Udofia, Nene, Ruth Ezenibe. Thank you for joining. Ezra, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I want to also indulge us and oblige your commitment and compliance to the ground rules. Please, while this is on, if you have any questions, if you have any comments to make, observations, please, if it's urgent, you raise your hand. I'll call on you at the right time, or you just drop a note in the chat box for questions and all that. You drop a note in the chat box and we will reach you right on time. So thank you everyone for joining. I want to see some love. So just do something, show the women some love. Show us some love. Show us some love in the chat room. Let's see what you've got. Let's see it. Just do something in the chat room. I'll be reading them out. So let me see it. Let me see it coming. Do something. Do something for the women. Wow. Thank you, TA. Love in your eyes. I can see it. iPhone. I don't. Somebody's iPhone here. Thank you, Oduayo. Thank you for the show of love, Alimat. Yes, kiss, love. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. We thank you. Yeah, it's good to have you. It's good to have you. Okay, let's get right in. I want to call up, I'll quickly read the profile of our guest so that she can just take it up from there and we go. TA, am I on point? Or is there something else we need to do? I need to actually have that alignment with you.
Yes, the audio is ready for Vivian.
Okay, please, let's have a profile. Thank you so much.
Limited, a renowned integrated hyper-growth entrepreneur and accomplished marketing and communications professional. Vivian Osigwe is a hyper-growth entrepreneur and accomplished marketing and communications professional with over 15 years of relevant experience gained while managing various global brands. As the founder of Experieta Edge Limited, a renowned integrated marketing communications company, and E-Edge Direct You, a product distribution company, Vivian has garnered a reputation for delivering growth for brands and businesses through bespoke service offerings ranging from effective route to market strategies, 360 integrated marketing services, aggressive sales, and numeric distribution. She's a creative team leader who pioneers marketing innovations that help build some of the world's most important global brands in emerging markets. Functional specialties: leadership, commercial strategy and operations, trade marketing management, integrated marketing communications, CRM, consumer insight and marketing innovations. Vivian Osigwe is a dynamic and accomplished leader whose entrepreneurial drive, passion for innovation and growth, and her ability to navigate complex business landscape makes her an invaluable asset in driving sustainable growth in businesses. Vivian holds a bachelor degree in metallurgy and materials engineering from the University of Lagos, an MBA from Alliance Manchester Business School at Manchester University, United Kingdom, an alumnus of the Lagos Business School, and a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants, IMC Nigeria. She is currently a doctoral student at City University, Malaysia, and she is an esteemed member of various professional bodies.
Thank you. With a warm round of applause and emojis, let's welcome Vivian. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tia. Hello, everybody. It's a big honor to be here in your midst in this webinar, speaking on this very notable topic, empowering women through entrepreneurship and economic empowerment. This topic is particularly very dear to my heart, but beyond being dear to my heart, this topic is very critical when it comes to sustainable development, especially in a growing economy such as Nigeria. Now, let's start by addressing why empowering women through entrepreneurship is critical. It's a must if we look at how we can develop, not just develop, sustainably. It is a must. It's essential. It's a must-have. Now, why do we have to empower women through entrepreneurship? Women make up roughly 50% of the population of Nigeria. So when it comes to economic participation, if you empower women economically, the country would advance. I mean, when it comes to areas like advancing gender equality, when it comes to areas like contributing significantly to poverty reduction, when it comes to areas like advancing social and economic growth, if you empower women economically, you would address all of these issues. Now, what's the major hindrance? What's the major challenge when it comes to empowering women through entrepreneurship? The number one challenge we face as female entrepreneurs is access to finance. That is critical. It's either at the point where we're starting our businesses or at the point where we're expanding our businesses. Many women lack access to formal financial services, making it difficult for us to even start at all. It discourages a lot of women. What are the things that makes this? Collateral. The collateral requirement from banks most times can be very discouraging. How many of us as women already have landed properties that we can present as collateral? A lot of us, our husbands, have landed properties in their names. Are they going to be willing? Will the bank be willing to take a collateral with the name of your husband if he's not on your board or he's not on your registration documents? So collateral requirements is one great hindrance. Limited financial literacy. How many of us knows what it actually entails to get loans? And the bias in the banking sector is something else. The banking sector would assess you, and the first thing they look at is you being a woman. Are they comfortable giving you multiple digits loans? The banks are more comfortable knowing that, okay, this is a man. The likelihood of him succeeding in this business is way, way higher. Giving a loan to a woman is just like taking a gamble. So that is a major challenge. Another challenge is limited access to markets. Women face barriers accessing their market due to limited networking opportunities, lack of information about market trends. How many of us as women have information, full information about market trends in the areas of businesses we want to venture into? Gender-based discrimination in business dealings. When you go to the table to make a pitch, if you're all female, are you going to be looked at as being serious, especially when you're going for a multiple digit dealing, like a big business, a big deal? There's already that stereotype. There's already that discrimination, like, okay, they're all women. There's no man in their midst. There's no man in the board, you know? So that is also a major challenge. And the biggest of them all, cultural and social norm. The traditional gender roles and societal expectations can restrict women's ability to pursue their entrepreneurship dream. There's the family responsibility there. I mean, jumping on this call, I had to take my daughter for a common entrance exam, and I was driving like a mad woman to quickly get home and at least freshen up to join this call. So why does it have to be me that will take her for this particular common entrance exam? You know, I mean, psychologically, she already knows, oh, mommy, if I'm not there, it's almost like, it's not like a good luck charm. She's not going to be having like a good luck charm present for her exams. And I know what that means to her. And so I had to take her. And then there's this we need to now come to. So there's the family responsibility there. There's the societal norms. I mean, looking at all the kids that came for that common entrance exam today, men were just about 5% that brought their kids there. 95% of us were actually women because societal norm. You should do school runs. You should carry your kids for, you know, these things, you know, societal norms regarding women's roles. There's a cultural bias. Do you know, presently, you and I know in this country that there are certain regions where the market is dominated by male? We're not talking about market for just clothes and all that, down to food stuff. I'm a marketing professional. We do marketing pan Nigeria. There are key cities in this Nigeria where the market is all dominated by male, both food stuff and other amenities, right? So these are the challenges that women face, you know, when they want to embark on a journey of entrepreneurship. Should we allow this deter us? No, we shouldn't. So now, what are the strategies that we can put in place to empower women? Capacity building. When we talk about capacity building, we talk about trainings, and it starts by, number one, inspiring. How do we inspire ourselves to actually come out and take that risk and venture into the entrepreneurial journey? A lot of us know what we want to do. The ideas are clear in our head. It's just the mind to actually come out. And that's why I'm very, very happy about this year's theme, which is inspiring inclusivity. We want a chance to be inclusive. We want a chance to be on the table. So through training and mentorship programs tailored to meet the needs of women entrepreneurs, one that can enhance business skills, confidence, and resilience. We can have topics like business planning, financial management, marketing strategies, networking skills. Networking skills is very, very important. At a very, very, very young age, that worked in my favor. Knowing the right courses to take, not because those courses are academically beneficial, but because the kinds of people that you'll be meeting, the caliber of people that are there would build your network. You can sell yourself. They can see your personality, and it can open doors for you. A lot of the multinational accounts that we now manage was through networking in one program or the other program. You know, people get to know you. People maybe in a group activity, they see you, they know you, and then they can call on you to say, you do this, right? Can you help us do this? And be prepared to start small. Nobody's going to open the doors for you and open it wide for you. You need to prove yourself as a woman entrepreneur, right? Now, the reason I said inspiring, I mean, the capacity building starts with inspiring women, then including them, and then eventually investing in them, is because we cannot downplay the role of having the right input from the onset, the role it plays in being successful as a female entrepreneur. If you have the right input, trust me, you would get the desired output and the desired results. And the things that we know, right? How can we transfer knowledge to other women? It starts from us. It starts here. It starts now. When we talk about capacity building, we cannot erase the fact that transfer of knowledge is very critical. The things that I know, how many other women am I willing to tell without feeling like, oh, they're going to take my business? Oh, I mean, the sea is wide enough. If you are able to carve a niche in the area of your business, you would always stand out. It doesn't matter how many people offer that same service. It doesn't matter. The things that I know, am I willing to transfer to the next woman so that she doesn't make the mistakes that I make? Policy support, implementing gender responsive policies, e.g. gender quotas in procurement processes. How many bids do you find women entrepreneurs being 50% off? Even on the boardroom, is it 50-50? Having tax incentives for women-owned businesses. Having policies to mitigate gender-based violence in workplace and institutions. These are all strategies that can be implemented to empower women. In your place of work, where you work, what you do in your business, you have people you hire. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 41 people on my payroll. How are you able to implement these policies? We don't have to wait for the government to do it on your own. How are you able to do that? The third strategy for empowering women is access to markets. Implementing initiatives such as women-focused trade fairs. Imagine a woman-focused trade fairs. Imagine a GTB fest solely for women entrepreneurs. But those that are going to be cooking, all women. Just imagine how many women you would empower after that, and the drive and the goal and how you would have psyched them up to be able to do any local or international fest. You know, having online platforms that can help a woman entrepreneur showcase her products and her services, and also connect with potential customers, investors, partners. These are all strategies that we can use to empower women. Also, very, very critical, very, very critical is guided mentorship. Guided mentorship, to be able to state the early warnings, things that you should not limit yourself to. Who told you that you have to work and save before you can expand your business? What is the calculation of your rate of your return rate of return if you actually execute a project? What is the rate of interest? If you calculate that, why are you turning down major bids? Why are you turning down major? Why are you restricting yourself to say, I have to run this business for 1 year, whatever I save 10, 15%. So that would now serve as my capital to expand. You can expand with the bank's money. All you need to do is work out your margin. If I take this contract, I'm getting 30%. I'm going to get this money in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. If I borrow this money from the bank, I'm going to be paying back what percent of interest within this 60 days or 30 days or 90 days. Weigh the two. You can expand and grow your business. The good thing is the society is now coming up to support women. I've received this phone call like last 2 years from banks like Stanbic, IBTC. The Blue Blossom account is for female entrepreneurs, female MDs, owners of business that are purely women. You pay 0 COT. You have access to up to like 10 million naira loan. And the management fee, you pay 50% of the management or the processing fee. You get 5% off whatever the interest rate is. I know Zenith Bank has the Z Woman, is a single-digit loan, and you have access to 10 million loan value. FCMB has the She Ventures, is 0 interest rates on loans. All these are just for female business owners. You have First Bank, First Gem, is also a single-digit loan. I talked about the Stanbic IBTC. I enjoy that. It's called the Blue Blossom Community accounts. And there are different banks that now have, they've carved out a support for women. That's locally. We have international bodies that are out there that support women entrepreneurs, right? So we need to support ourselves to ensure that we thrive. So in conclusion, empowering women through entrepreneurship and economic empowerment is not only a matter of social justice, but also a driver of economic growth and development in Nigeria. If we're able to address these challenges, we can unlock the full potential of women as catalysts for positive change and inclusive prosperity in our society. You empower a woman, you empower a community. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much. Empowering women, empower everyone, the society, the world at large. And I love 2 of your strategies, right? The first that caught my attention was the women first. The women first. So you talked about situations where you have like GT and other banks, organizing first for women, purely women, and they come and they have access to finance, soft loans and all that to help them boost their businesses or entrepreneurial things. And you also talked about the guided mentorship. I love this, right? And I'm so looking forward to the time and day when all this will start playing out and women are truly taken for who they are, right? We have so much loaded and we can see it playing out. Look, you can count how many banks in Nigeria that have got women at the top of the ladder. So it is in us. We are created that way and we truly deserve. We deserve our place in the league of leadership. Thank you so much, Vivian. That was apt and that was absolute. So I don't know if anybody has got some questions for Vivian. You can just raise your hand and then just ask it immediately before we go on to the next thing on here. Is anyone out there? Do you have any questions? If there are no questions, I think we have a panel. We have a panel that have to sit. And okay. Thank you so much. If you don't have a question, we will introduce the guest speaker again, our first guest speaker for today. So we've had Vivian, who happens to be our keynote speaker. And she's done justice on empowering women through entrepreneurship and economic empowerment. Thank you again, Vivian. I can't see any hands up. Is anybody asking a question? Okay. I cannot see any. Let me check the chat room if I have some questions there. Okay, I'm seeing accolades. Thank you, Vivian. Great insight, Vivian. Thank you. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Everyone is applauding your notes there. Thank you so much. Right now, we are going to be taking the first guest speaker for today, who happens to be Dr. Precious. Dr. Precious, are you with us? Show us some love. Dr. Precious. Dr. Precious is so gay. Right. Okay, she's here with us. Right. Okay. So before we bring her aboard, let me just quickly read a brief profile of Dr. Precious. Dr. Isoge Precious is the clinical director and dental surgeon at Perfect Aesthetic
Dr.
Clinic.
Isoge Precious is the clinical director and dental surgeon at Perfect Aesthetic Clinic, Ikeja, Lagos. She studied dentistry at I. Obachevsky, Ternopil State Medical University and obtained a Doctor of Dental Medicine degree, DMD, in the year 2016. Driven by a mission to deliver quality dental care services to Nigerians, she founded Perfect Aesthetic Clinic during the COVID-19 pandemic in August 2020, where she plays a key role in ensuring that dental health of patients are well taken care of. Her areas of specialization spans across restorative dentistry, cosmetic dentistry, oral surgery, amongst others. She holds several certifications in the field, including certifications in dental implants, implantology, and a certification in clear aligners, invisible orthodontics. Back in school, she emerged best student in dentistry on different occasions and was a member of the Nigerian Student Association. She loves contributing to society and has volunteered for organizations such as Cocoon Foundation and KBK Foundation. She's currently a volunteer at Grace for Impact GFI in conjunction with Adele Case Foundation. Dr. Precious has hosted several events, one of which was the African Youth Summit and a Women's Entrepreneurship event, where she was a speaker. She has participated in diode laser use in dentistry and is a fast braces provider in Nigeria. Her interests include volunteering, connecting with people, sharing knowledge, and traveling. Our goal is to build a reputable clinic where excellence meets care. Our interests include volunteering, connecting with people, sharing knowledge, and traveling. Our goal is to build a reputable clinic where excellence meets quality service are the watchword.
Please, let's welcome Dr. Precious. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Vivian. I hope I can keep up with you. Thank you, TA, for this, and thank you, Esther, for being our moderator today. I would like to share my screen briefly. So I'm going to be using the slide and also, okay, so let's do this. Okay. Okay, so we're going to, I know I was given a topic, but I'm going to focus more on oral health. I'm a doctor of dental medicine, and I'm very passionate about our oral health, okay? So we're going to discuss women's health instinct to their oral health. I'm sure everyone can see my screen. Okay, so women, we have increased sensitivity to some oral health diseases. And this happens when our hormones are imbalanced. As we know, we are more susceptible to diseases generally. Talk more of oral diseases. When there's a change in our hormones, we know how it affects our mood, the same way it affects our oral health, especially when we are menstruating, when we're on our ovulation. I know some things might sound new to us. During pregnancy, during menopause, and even during puberty, you know, when we're growing up, when we get to that age of 13, 14, most of us notice pimples on our face. The same way you are going to notice changes in your oral health. Either you're just erupting a new teeth is just erupting, or you're losing a new teeth. There's always changes generally when it comes to feminine health. Hormonal changes can impact the blood supply to our gums. We actually have blood vessels and nerves in our gums, in our teeth, that supplies blood. Just the same way your heart pumps blood and it moves all around your body, the blood also gets to your gum. It also flows through your gum. So when we have hormonal changes, which we commonly say call hormonal imbalance, that can affect our oral health. That can affect our oral health. Most of us here are mothers, and we must have noticed when we're pregnant, we probably had swollen face, bigger nose, darker skin, puffy legs, or we had this increase to increase salivation, increase in spitting out or irritability. When it comes to your oral health, we also see this in your oral health. When you visit your dentist, most times when you're not even aware that you're pregnant, your dentist can even say, oh, are you pregnant? Or are you going through stress? Or are you on your period? Because we see several things. What are these things that we see? We tend to see bleeding gums. We tend to see what we call aphthous ulcer, which is also known as canker sore. And please, let me take this back. When we have canker sore, it doesn't necessarily mean we're pregnant, it doesn't necessarily mean we're on our period. There's no known causative agent for aphthous ulcer or canker sore. However, when we are stressed, especially with women, and most times when we have men coming to the clinic and we see this in their mouth, we don't go to asking them if they're stressed. We look at their teeth to know if they're stressed. But when we see this in a man, we're asking them these separate questions. Do they have diseases such as HIV, such as AIDS? Do they have a decrease in vitamins? Do they have vitamin deficiency? But for women, the first set of questions we ask is, are you stressed? We all know that when we're on our period, we're stressed. I don't know if there's any day that we women were not stressed. We are stressed because we are always trying so hard. As Vivian has said in our previous, as Vivian has said during our presentation, we have to struggle. We have to do ×2 of what the other gender, what our men do, right? So we are always stressed. So when we see this in women, the first question the dentist will ask you is, are you stressed? When last did you see your period? Are you on your period? Are you pregnant? So we see canker sore, we have swollen gums or bleeding gums sometimes. We have women who come in, oh, I brush my teeth twice daily, but yet I just started bleeding maybe 3 days ago, 4 days ago. We have to ask questions like this. Are you pregnant? Are you on your period? Are you on any post pill? Are you on post pill? And several questions like that, right? When we see a decrease in saliva in a woman's mouth, we are not asking questions like pregnant, right? Because we know during pregnancy, there's actually an increase in salivation, in saliva. So we ask, oh, okay, how old are you? Of course, a lot of us look younger than our age, so we have to ask such questions again. How old are you? Are you above 40? Are you above 50? Are you in the premenopause stage, or are you in the menopause stage? These questions are very important. I would say why. When we notice a decrease in saliva, right? Okay, let me talk about saliva. The saliva we have in the mouth serves as a natural lubricant for our mouth, right? The saliva helps us to prevent decay. That means to help us to prevent all those holes that we have in our teeth. Saliva actually helps with that. Saliva also helps with our food. It helps to break down our food, because when you're masticating, your tongue rolls, the saliva also helps to soften the food so that you can swallow easily, right? When you have a decrease in saliva, it means that eating will be a bit difficult. It means that food is more likely to stick to your teeth. And when food sticks to your teeth, it means you are going to have a cavity, which is basically a hole, a tooth decay. Right? So when it comes to saliva has so much benefits that once we don't see it in someone's mouth, it means that there's an issue, especially in women. We start to ask this question. A decrease in saliva is actually called xerostomia. And when we also see that when a woman says, okay, no, I'm not in my menopausal stage, this is not it, this is not it, then we start to think of diseases. And one of the first set of disease we think about is HIV/AIDS. Is there a decrease in your immune system? How weak is your immune system? Things like this. We also have in the pregnancy stage, we also have gum epulis. Maybe one or two of us here have experienced this. During pregnancy mainly, we have swollen gums. Okay, we have inflamed gums, we have red gums, or painful gums sometimes, right? What we notice is that it's tender, which is painful. The gums are swollen, they are red, and they are bleeding. This can be signs for you to check yourself. Okay, is there a change in my diet, or am I pregnant? This is also a sign for that. So when we have swollen gums like this, it's quite easy. I hope I'm not scaring anyone. Okay, so when we have things like this, it's actually quite easy. You see your dentist. Something like a gum epulis, that's this swelling that you see right here, it can be easily removed and it's actually not a painful procedure to do. But if you just notice just redness and it's tender, then you can use you can do home remedy, which is basically warm water and salt. You can use your chlorhexidine mouth rinse if you have that, or you can go ahead to take your over-the-counter medication such as paracetamol or diclofenac. If it doesn't go away, if it doesn't reduce, if the pain is still there, then I would advise that you visit your dentist. Okay, I'm trying not to take too much of our time. So as we know, right, when we have a decrease in our estrogen, our mood changes. As I've said before, our mood changes. We don't want to do we don't want to even go out most times. We don't want to do certain things. We find ourselves struggling and pushing ourselves to do these things. A way we can try to balance our hormones, right? Keep our hormones in check, because obviously we cannot stop ourselves from bleeding. That's period. We can't stop ourselves. We can't say, oh, we are not going to get pregnant. We can't stop ourselves from menopause. Things like this that are unavoidable. How can we keep ourselves safe when it comes to our general health, which also includes our oral health? Because the mouth is the gateway to the entire body. In all honesty, what affects your mouth affects your entire body. When you have high blood pressure, your doctor can easily tell just by looking at your mouth. Your dentist can easily tell just by looking at your mouth. The signs are there. When you are diabetic, okay, so let me rephrase that. When you are hypertensive or diabetic and it's not controlled, what we mean by it's not controlled, meaning you're not taking your medication, or maybe you just don't know about it. So we can tell just by looking at your mouth. The signs are there. We're going to see, you're going to have a mobile teeth. A mobile teeth means a shaky tooth. Depending on the grade, it might be the early onset or moderate or severe. We'll see that. We'll also see gum bleeding or inflammation. Bleeding in the sense that you might not be actively bleeding, but the moment we just try to tap your gum, just a little tap on your gum, we will notice blood just coming out from your gum. Or we ask you questions as well. Okay, when you brush, do you notice bleeding? So there are many signs. There are many signs that we can tell, okay, this patient is a diabetic patient that is not under control, or this patient is an hypertensive patient that is not also controlled. There are several diseases that we can open your mouth, just by looking into your mouth, and we can tell, okay, this person has this. Okay, just off point, when we women involve ourselves in oral sex, and we visit the dentist maybe a few hours later, 24 hours later, or 48 hours later, your dentist can actually tell that you've involved yourself in oral sex, right? So let me move on from there. How can we take care of our general health and our oral health? we have to increase our intake in vitamins. The amount of vitamins a woman would need is not the same as what a man will need. As we know, we women can wash our face from today to tomorrow, go for facials, go for this, and our men will not do any of that, and they'll still have this clear, glassy skin. So it means that we have to put more effort when it comes to our general health. We are more susceptible to diseases. We are more susceptible to reduced immune system. So we can go ahead with increasing our vitamin, taking our vitamin D, magnesium, zinc. Please, whatever you do, add your zinc into it. Whatever you take, please add your zinc into it and add your vitamin C into it, because this helps with your general health. It boosts your immune system. And with this, yes, catching certain diseases. Let's even start with as simple as flu. As simple as flu. I'm so sorry. Let me check my network. Okay, I think I'm good. So as simple as flu, right? This will help to boost your immune system. I'm sure we all remember during the COVID period when everyone was saying, boost your immune system, take a lot of oranges, take a lot of this. Exactly, we need all of that. Okay, so vitamin B6, vitamin B12, we need cranberries. Cranberries will help with UTI. We also need to take a lot of water. We need to take a lot of water, at least eight glasses a day. When we say at least, it means you can take more, because water will help you to rinse out all the food particles that are stuck in your mouth, right? When you're taking it, it just helps you to wash all of that. And it also helps with our general health. It helps to cleanse our system, cleanse toxins out of our system. And in turn, we use the restroom and we pee everything out, okay?
Sorry, Dr. Precious. Sorry, I have to cut you a
I'm
bit.
so sorry. Yes.
Do you have a slide for this particular thing? Because we are still on one slide.
Oh, no. So as I said, I'm going to use the slide, and
Okay.
I'm also going to be talking off the slide. So sorry. So sorry. Can I continue, please?
Yes, please, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll be rounding up soon. Okay, so food that we can also take. We can take legumes, we can take nuts, we can take a lot of yogurt. Yogurt is good for our body. Probiotics. We have the dental probiotics and we have the general probiotics. To me personally, all the same, especially when you already have your vitamins and your cranberry, you are good to go. We need to exercise a lot. Exercise is important for our general health. When I say general health, I mean our mental health, our physical health. Exercise helps us a lot. And yes, let's take a lot of water. So moving forward on how to generally take care of our oral health, aside from the vitamins and the food, is also taking care of our oral health, taking care of our teeth and our gums, right? Brushing regularly is very good. However, most of us tend to brush 2-3 times. But we find out that when we go to the dentist still tells you you have a lot of cavities, you have a lot of plaques and capillus stuck in your teeth, right? Plaques are those yellow greenish things that you sometimes see on your teeth. Plaques form 24 to 48 hours of not brushing or not brushing properly. So it is not enough to just brush your teeth 2 times or 3 times a day. You have to actually brush properly using the right technique. And you're actually to brush only twice a day. So you have to brush after eating in the morning. I'm laughing because I get a lot of reaction when I say this. You have to brush after eating in the morning and after eating at night. The last thing you do, once you know you're not snacking, you go to brush your teeth. Now, why do we say you brush after eating in the morning? The main essence of brushing is to prevent cavities, to prevent decay, right? To remove those food particles from your teeth. So if you have done it a night before, you can go ahead to have your breakfast. So after breakfast, definitely you're going to have food particles stuck in between your teeth. Then you use your toothbrush to get that out, and you are good for another 24 hours. If you don't feel comfortable when you wake up and you feel, oh no, I still need to brush my teeth, you can just go ahead to use your mouthwash. We do not recommend alcohol-based mouthwash because alcohol-based mouthwash will dry up our saliva. And as we said from the beginning, when you have xerostomia or you don't have enough saliva or you're not producing enough saliva, it is not good for your oral health. Okay, so I'm going to skip this. Okay, so I can give, this is for all of us and especially the mothers in the house. So the green part is called the incisor, which is the 4 teeth in front, and the 4 teeth in front that we see here and the ones on the lower. They're called the incisor. Your molars are the ones at the back, right? So we have the first, second, and we have this one where the last one that is normally called the wisdom tooth, right? So we have that. Then we have our premolars and our canine. We use the incisor to bite, to cut food, and we use the premolars and molars to chew. Okay. Okay. So this is just the anatomy of the teeth. Yes. Okay. So 10 most important dental tips. Proper brushing and flossing regularly. Avoid tobacco as much as possible, especially in women, especially in pregnant women, right? Tobacco can affect your baby. Tobacco can affect the development stage of your baby. Okay, limit your sodas and your coffee and your alcohol. Alcohol dries the mouth. So you have to always drink water even if you're going to take alcohol, but we usually try to advise against it. You need to consume enough calcium. Calcium is good for our bones. I don't know about anybody, but I believe that once you get to that age of 30 as a woman, every part of your body starts to ache. You wake up, your body is aching. You are sleeping, your body is aching. So we actually need calcium to strengthen our bone, and it's also good for menopause stage as well. Okay, use mouthwash along with your brush and your floss. Always take a healthy diet, which we've discussed. Avoid sugary and sticky food. Drink more water, clean your tongue regularly, and last but not the least, visit your dentist every 6 months. It's very important to visit your dentist every 6 months. We've seen in some women, especially during pregnancy, where they complain of losing their tooth during pregnancy or having one discolored teeth during pregnancy. Maybe the first child they have a discolored teeth, the second child will be losing it, it just comes out, right? So all this can prepare us. Taking our vitamins regularly, avoiding things like this can actually prepare our body for pregnancy or during ovulation. Also, just one advice to mothers, especially expectant mothers or pregnant mothers. During pregnancy, if you are advised by your doctor not to take antibiotics, especially tetracycline, please avoid it. Do not self-medicate during pregnancy. Whatever vitamins you are advised to take, please take them during pregnancy. Whatever vitamins you are advised to take, even in your menopausal stage, please take them. Now, for tetracycline, that can affect the development of your child's teeth. Okay, so I will just leave the rest to questions when I'm asked questions. So thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity, and I appreciate it.
Wow, I'm so loving you right now. Do you know what? Thank you so much. Do you know why I'm loving you right now? Because do you know, as funny as it sounds, I'm very critical, like you said. I've experienced two of those things you talked about, the canker sores and the gum epilepsy or gum gingivitis during pregnancy. And I did not bother to go and ask what they were. You know, in my head, I was just telling myself, come, you're a strong girl, you can, I'm sure it's part of the deal. And now that you're just talking about it, I'm like, wow, you actually took some risk there. I should have gone to say, come, what's all this in my mouth? You know, and I love the way you explained them. And, you know, yeah, and there's also that level of, you know, trust and hope that there is nothing so serious, especially about the canker sores. Thank you so much. Now, I'm very interested in That part where you talked about calcium, some parts of our body depleting from the age of 30. Please, I'm still a girl, though. I'm only just trying to become a lady. I'm not yet a woman. So if you're saying some parts of my body will start going down at 30, I'm already scared. So my own question before I start taking questions from the floor is, what are some of these calcium building food? Are we advised to actually take, because I know some people talk about some supplements, some calcium, zinc, and magnesium supplements. What is your advice?
Okay. So for me, my advice is take calcium supplements. Okay, so calcium helps us to build our bones. Okay, as you get older, male or female, your body, your bone will start to deteriorate. As you get older, you will notice it, especially we women, is always faster. What you can do 10 years ago will not be the same thing you can do now. In fact, what you could do 2 years ago, you could lift. Sometimes we don't need anybody to lift all those heavy things for us.
Absolutely. I
But
tried
now,
lifting something. Sorry, I tried lifting something yesterday. And this morning, as I was waking up from the bed, my shoulder, and I'm like thinking, wow. And I was telling my husband, that your bed is bad. I think it's that bed. He said, my friend, it's not that bed. It's that thing you lifted. You're an old woman. I said, if I catch, really, it's really funny how the body system starts breaking down with age,
yes,
right?
yes.
So taking calcium, I think, is one good way that we can all help ourselves. And you're talking about calcium in form of supplements, and I think it's quite advisable. So for people who are not so comfortable with taking supplements, and because I know some people who are very, very traditional in their ways, they may not subscribe to taking supplements, right? So what other food, what natural foods can we actually advise them to take? Can anybody hear me? I think I've lost Dr. Precious there. Wow, wait, is it from my end? Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, so it's from Dr. Precious's end. Okay, while we wait for her, if you have your questions for her, you might want to drop it in the chat or just send to me directly or to Onuayo, and we'll take it from there. Dr. Precious, are you back? Are you with us? But what is session? What is session? If you have gained something, just drop an emoji, just say something, just write something in the chat box, let's know. Yeah, I think it's quite, in this case now, she wasn't just addressing the health system of the female gender. She was talking generally, both to the women and to the men. And so for you guys in the house, lucky you, you've gotten some tips right now. Okay, so from the age of 30, if you are like me that is still a girl, please start taking calcium. Okay, we have you, Dr. Precious, you're back. It's good to have you.
My network.
Yeah. Okay, it's fine. So my question was, for some people who are very traditional, right? They still do not believe in supplements. They still believe I need to eat good foods, right? So for those who are not so comfortable taking calcium supplements, what natural foods do you advise?
Okay. We can take almonds, right?
Almonds. Okay.
Yes, almond is very good for us. Spinach is very good. Vegetable.
I love spinach. Oh my God. I love spinach. Yes.
I don't know. Do you like tofu?
I don't even know what tofu is. It's like wrapped something like echo, what Yorubas call echo, right? Is it?
No, but it looks like that. Is this vegan food that is made out of, I think, milk and some legumes? I'm not really sure what the content of tofu is, but I like it.
Okay.
Carrots as well. Carrots as well. Chia seeds, broccoli. So these are things that we can easily find in our own environments. Yes. So yeah, carrots. Carrots is very good for the body. Oh, tomatoes, please. You can buy your tomatoes and chew your tomatoes raw.
I love chewing tomatoes, and then my children will say, "Why are you chewing this raw?" That is the best time to chew. So for them, you have to cook it. I said, "No, you just chew like me, and it's fine." I love chewing fresh tomatoes. Thank you so much. Let me check the chat room. I think some people have dropped some
Oh,
things.
yes, please.
Oh,
Let's not forget our milk as well.
milk. Okay. Okay. So I have a question for you right there from Oduayo. It says, is it normal for a woman in her late 20s and early 30s to still grow teeth? Is it normal to still grow
In
teeth?
our late 20s and
Yes.
early 30s to still
Early
grow
30s,
teeth.
yes.
Yes, it's not rare. Okay. So we have during our development stage, we have ages where our teeth erupt.
Okay.
And for our wisdom tooth, which I'm thinking probably that's what she's just noticing, for our wisdom tooth, we get to start seeing it at the age of 18 to 24, 25. However, we've met women that at the age of 30 something, that's when it's just erupting. Yes. And most times we've even seen women of the age of 35 and they don't have the wisdom tooth there. So we have to go searching for it by taking x-rays or doing investigations. Then we'll find out, okay, it is still embedded in the bone. We'll check if it will still erupt or if it would not, so that we help them to take it out, because leaving it there is quite dangerous, right? I'm using the word dangerous because leaving it there can actually cause what we call dentigerous cyst. Or if we look at it and it's not going to cause her any harm, we leave it to her and ask her, do you want to leave it or should we go ahead to remove it? So it's not uncommon to be in your 29, to be 25 or 28, and you see that your last tooth is erupting. It's not uncommon.
Thank you so much for that. So, I think I'm hoping this satisfies your question. And then somebody says the lecture was informative and educative.
Oh, thank you very much.
Dr. Precious, very insightful from Ruru.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And if you are just joining us, we've just had our first guest speaker in the person of Dr. Precious, DMD, and she spoke on women's health and well-being, the challenges and the progresses, or the progress rather. So thank you so much. I don't think I'm seeing any more questions in the chat box right now. So I will just quickly go over to our second guest speaker. Thank you, Dr. Precious. Everybody
Thank
show
you
us.
so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Yeah,
thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for gracing this occasion. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Precious. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll just go straight to invite our second guest speaker on stage in the person of Ruth Carlo, and she will be speaking on Nigerian women's development influential factors. Nigerian women's development influential factors. Before she comes on stage, let me just quickly read her profile. Ruth Carlo happens to be the director of Women and Girls Initiative of the Harry Cares Foundation, which was established in 2008. Her role spans leading women and girls initiative, including but not limited to overall organizational operations in Nigeria, with our main focus on point of contact in Nigeria. Of course, it is the organization, what's it called? What's that organization? Okay, Harry Cares Foundation is 95% women-led organization. That's superb. The focus of this organization is on youth empowerment and community development. And the impact, of course, has reached over 10,000 youths in Nigeria and Canada through their community center visits, women and girls programs, public speaking engagements, annual Christmas events, book and shoe drives, tuition programs, peace ambassadors programs, youth pathways programs, the basketball camps, and of course, tournaments. Their major focus is what we call the Supermom Project. The Harry Care Foundation Supermom Project is part of the Harry Cares Foundation Community Development Initiative. It is focused on creating a platform for women to educate themselves on managing motherhood and removing barriers to accessing maternal health care. They have reached over 250 women. The women are being educated on pre- and postpartum depressions, coping skills, self-development, mental health and wellness, and an exercise protocol to manage pregnancy-related aches and pains. And for the girls' mentorship, the Harry Care Foundation Girls Program is part of the community outreach efforts aimed at creating a safe space and equal opportunity for girls to participate in youth programs and sports, just as their male counterparts. For them, they have reached over 80 girls through the Harry Care Foundation Girls Initiative. You can look them up on their website, theharrycares.org/girls-program. So this initiative includes life skills, mentorship, and general discussions on how to continue to break the bias in their classrooms, households, and communities. They advocate and help educate women about their rights to healthy life. And Ruth's core is advocating for and helping to educate women and girls about their rights to healthy lifestyles. She promotes women's overall well-being, empowerment, and progress in all facets of life. She is a proud woman, and of course, her role is in encouraging girls to think creatively, break biases, and have self-confidence to be who they want to be, irrespective of societal pressures. Women, ladies, girls like me in the house, and the men who so love us to join us, please, let's make welcome Ruth Carlo to the stage. Ruth, over to you if you can hear me. Thank you for gracing this occasion.
Charles and Claire, thank you so much for having me. Wow,
Okay.
what an inspiring moment it is here today. And for all the speakers that have spoken before me, Esther, thank you for anchoring this, and Tia, thank you so much for this platform. I do appreciate. And Doctor, that was a great one. It was insightful part, the oral care for everybody in general. And like you all agree with me, Vivian too gave us more insights on how we can empower ourselves through entrepreneurship. So today I would also want us to understand that women, which we all know, we play a huge role, important role in our society today. And irrespective of that, we experience a lot of challenges along the way, ranging from stereotypes, discrimination, and bias. So those are things that we experience as a woman. It's enormous. You can name it. This is just a few. And there are factors affecting women development in Nigeria. And these factors are access to quality healthcare. They have discrimination at the place of work, where women are not given ample opportunity to, assume roles. It is assumed that women do not have that capacity to, occupy some roles in an organization. So what happens is those factors too can affect a woman. They have the poverty factor, where you also have lack of funds. Vivian expatiated that, where we would have access to some loan opportunities that women are not even aware of. And those hindrances can actually affect them becoming who they want to be in the society. So we also have gender-based violence, with domestic violence, verbal, physical abuse, rape, and but to name a few. So these factors affect women in general. If you can hear me, say hi. I don't think, if you can hear me, then I continue. All right. So okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you for that acknowledgement. All right. So I would be speaking to what is so dear to me, and my profile was just read, which is empowering women through the Supermom project. It's a project, it's one of my initiatives through the Harry Cares Foundation, where we educate women on managing motherhood and self-developing themselves. We use a tool, especially when we visit the primary healthcare facility. So the community where I reside in, we have 18 primary healthcare facilities. So every year we try as much as possible to visit each primary healthcare facility. What we do is we educate women on pre and postpartum depression, because most women, they don't really come out. Dr. Vivian also spoke about, Dr. Precious spoke about hormonal changes. And those hormonal changes, women experience it during pregnancy, and sometimes they get lost. I, for one, had a similar challenge during my childbearing time. I'm a mother, a working mom at that. I manage the home front, and also in a leadership position where I have people that tend to look up to me in terms of deliverables. How do we tend to achieve this? So as a woman, if you're not mentally stable, how do you give up what you don't have? You're not able to do so. So what we do is we educate them that you can be who you want to be, self-develop yourself, have that confidence, have that drive, have that push. Don't allow anything hold you back. Don't allow anything hold you back. It's assumed that, yes, we can multitask, and which is true. We multitask a lot. We do a lot of things at the same time. That's what makes us superhuman. We do that, and that's what makes us a super mom. We try as much as possible to juggle. You can see Vivian said she had to take her child to a common entrance, come in, so she already have a goal, and that goal is to empower. She has just given us part of her experiences, and even on the job, how she rose to the top, and she continued to strive. So as a woman, and in Nigeria, where we have a lot of challenges, how do we surmount these hurdles in life? Is to ensure that mentally we are there. Mentally we are there, then you can now focus to bring out that potential which is inside of you, which is hidden. But if you don't strive towards perfection, if you don't strive towards personal growth, if you don't strive towards professional growth, how do you surmount this? How do you tend to get to that level in life, which you have to fulfill purpose, you have to persevere to the end, you have to strive, you have to be resilient in Nigeria. So those are the inbuilt factor that you make. It's a choice. So if you make that choice, aside external factors, you ensure that you don't inhibit yourself internally, then you can now have a purpose, a plan, and that is where Harry Cares Foundation Supermom Project comes into play. We create this platform for women to harness their skills, polish it. There's a mentorship program there. We're saying, okay, you can look at other women that have achieved this through life. It's very, very important that as a woman, we try as much as possible to be the solution. Be the solution to one another anywhere you find yourself, even in the community where you reside. The goal is, if you empower one woman, you've inspired her, you've made her see the future, irrespective of taking that baby steps to achieving that goal, which might somewhat seem huge, but it's not. But once she has that self-confidence, that drive, that push, now, when those challenges, those factors come into play, what happens? She can look beyond it, because the way I see it is challenges are the spice of life. So every day is loaded with different challenges. How do you surmount those challenges? Do you go and wriggle at the corner? Or do you say to yourself, if you're someone that makes positive affirmations, that you can self-motivate yourself, and also look at others, then you can be who you want to be. Women can achieve whatever they want to achieve in life, be it in the business sector, be it in technology, be it in any other professional sector they find themselves in. I know women in our society, globally, what they do. It did not come overnight. They actualized their dream, and when they get to that point, they keep striving in order to achieve that dream. And in line with what we do, we look at what is happening in line with the global goals. That's the 2020 global goals, where we are saying good health, this according to UN, good health and well-being. The essence is to reduce maternal mortality. How do you reduce maternal mortality? If you don't have access to adequate healthcare, if you are not even aware as a woman that during pregnancy, you need to go for antenatal checks. You need to take certain multivitamins, certain prenatal vitamins to boost your immune in order to help the growing human inside of you. So it is important for women to unleash this potential that is hidden. And how do they do this? Access to information. The Supermom Project, that's what we do. We go there, we give them talks on this with the help of some health care professionals as volunteer. They volunteer to assist. We also have pharmacists that volunteer. When we give out all these prenatal vitamins, they assist in translating and informing these women on how to take those vitamins so that maternal mortality rates would be
Hi, Ruth. I think we've lost you there. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that confirmation.
And Nigeria
Okay.
contributes. Nigeria is
We
one of the
lost you
countries
a
that
bit. We
contributes
lost you a
80.
bit, Doctor. Mrs. Ezenibe Carlo. We lost you a bit. If you just want to take it in, maybe like 30 seconds back. So we lost you for some few seconds.
Okay, sorry about that. Probably my network. Just lost the network there. But you can see me and hear me clearly.
Yes, we can now. Yes, thank you.
All right. So, and then I was speaking to my volunteers and I. Sometimes what we do, we need to actually take care of ourselves too mentally, and try as much as possible to. If you can hear me, please respond.
No, we can't.
Sorry, guys. Okay. So try as much as possible and recline, have our own me time. What we're saying is we're bonding as women, we're sharing our own views, we're bringing out other ideas that we also need to fill in. So if you don't, for instance, have that in you, what do you give out at the end of the day? What do you give out as a mother, as a leader in an organization, as a person in the community where you reside? So building a community with inclusive women, this year it's impact inclusion. So we need to actually build that where women have access to healthcare facilities, where they are not limited, where they have access to prenatal vitamins. It might not be government funded, That's why the non-for-profit organization is there. We educate women, they manage themselves as mothers, they juggle up the work-life balance if there's anything like that, but we try as much as possible to find a support system. So I want to share something there to me, it's part of my experience. So during my journey, my childbearing time, I experienced a lot of challenges. I even lost a baby along the way. So what happened? I had good support system. I had good family there to support me into what? Depression. So I had to tell myself, Ruth, you can do this, you can overcome this, you can be who you want to be, and you will come out in one piece. So it is important for women to understand this. We cannot overemphasize the self-confidence, self-actualization. We can't overemphasize the fact that you need to self-develop yourself. We cannot overemphasize the access of relationship, quality relationship. So it is very, very important that we understand this as a woman, have access to, you can also partake in exercises in your work environment. If you're a woman that normally sits all the time, Dr. Precious talked about your calcium level being reduced when you get to a certain age. And also Esther talked about her shoulder almost going off when she was, trying to assist, that woman instinct of I can be who I want to be. I can actually achieve whatever I set my mind to do, irrespective that she's aware her husband is there. She can actually say, please, honey, can you help me move this? But that warmth we have as a woman, that compassion we have as a woman, that multi-skill, that super mom skill we have as a woman, it gives us that instinct of, oh, I can just do this. So we need to properly take care of ourselves and ensure that there are no barriers holding us down. And once we do this, irrespective of the society we find ourselves in, irrespective of the insecurity, because insecurity is also part of the factors affecting women. Insecurity is part of the factors affecting women's development. And in Nigeria today, we find out that in those locations where there are insecurities, what happened? Women are, that fear is in them. They might not be able to totally accomplish what they want to do. I give you an example. For women in the agricultural sector, I want to go to the farm. How do they go to the farm? In a country where there is high rate of insecurity. So it is a factor that can limit a woman. So in the Harry Cares Foundation, I'll just wrap up by saying this: we create an opportunity to give women a safe space for them to harness their skills and also be who they want to be in life is very, very important, and create an inclusive economy where women thrive. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ruth. That was very, very insightful and just straight to the point. Empower women to fly. If I hear you from the start, you said if you empower a woman, you actually empowering her to what's it called now? There was a word you used. You're empowering her to inspire herself and to grow. And you said some very key things that I actually loved. And I am an advocate for that. Okay, when people are not interested in your development, most times we cry, the government is not doing this, the government is not, and then some people will come that their employers are not training them, not interested in their career aspirations and career path and all that. I am very quick to say, come, when you leave this place, will your employer follow you to the next place you're going to, right? Come on, train yourself. If you've got what it takes to train yourself, go ahead and get a training. Besides, it's for you. So I love that. And I love the fact that you talked about quality relationships. Nothing beats quality relationships, right? When the chips are down, relationships, the good ones, will come up and they will hold your hands, raise your shoulders, and help you stand. And you also mentioned a support system, especially when you went through what you went through. And I'm sorry to hear about that. But you know, a good support system is actually what everybody needs, right? When you're self-developing, when you're building to grow, when you're trying to become who you want to become, a good support system is actually what you are looking for, right? And I love the fact that you talked about, inclusive women and then giving them access to healthcare, quality healthcare, and all those vitamins and all that. And I remember one midwife telling me something some time ago, and she was very, very vehement when she was talking about it. She said, if you don't take care of yourself, nobody will. The people will only sympathize and empathize with you. But the real deal actually lies on your shoulders to go after what is good for you. And thank you so much for bringing to bear all these things. We're so grateful. So if you have questions for Ruth, just make sure you are dropping the questions. Make sure you're dropping the questions, right? Thank you so much, all the speakers. We are grateful to have you on board. If you have a question, you don't want to drop it on the chat box, let me see your hand. And just as I'm waiting for those questions to drop, we have a panel session that we kick off right now. Any minute from now, we have a panel session. So I will actually crave the indulgence of all the speakers, Dr. Precious, with the first speaker. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody's name. Ruth, you're also here. Our keynote speaker, Vivian. Please, if you're still in the house, we'll bring your indulgence to just sit back, and while we have a very good discussion around this year's theme, Inspire Inclusion. So any question for Ruth before we move on to the session? Do you have a question? So everybody's thanking you. Thank you, Red. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Okay. We will just move right into the panel session, if I'm permitted. Oduayo, TA, please, you are my guides.
All right, thank you, Esther.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the speakers. As we are moving to the panel discussion session, we'll just have to introduce the two panelists, then the rest of the guest speakers will join. So to do that, Wale, please play the recording for the introduction for panelists.
Chinelo is an experienced human resource professional with over 12 years of in-depth knowledge and experience in strategic human resource management, business partnering, organizational culture, employee engagement, change management, talent and performance management, organizational effectiveness and reward across FMCG, manufacturing, and shipping sectors. Chinelo is currently a senior people business partner with APM Terminals Nigeria, a part of AP Moller Maersk Groups, and holds an MBA from Business School Netherlands. She also has a Bachelor of Science in Business Education from Nnamdi Azikiwe University and several other certifications and trainings in human resource management and agile leadership. She is an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPMN, and a member of the Society for Human Resource Management, SHRM.
Do we have the recording for the second panelist? Pastor Nick Olanike, do you have it coming up?
Yes, Esther, please check your backend. You have to read the Pastor Nick's.
Okay, so let me take it from here. Thank you. So the second panelist is Pastor Olanike Oyewusi. And Pastor Nike was born on March 12th in Ibadan. She attended the Kwara State Polytechnic in Ilorin between 1991 and 1996, where she studied computer science. She worked at DYS, Troca, and Valencia PLC, Apapa, Lagos. She also was at Nwofe Agbaja. I hope I'm getting this pronunciation correctly. Nwofe Agbaja or Agbaja Community Secondary School, Easy, in Easy Local Government of Ebonyi State, and Cashlick Finance and Investment PLC, and Idowu Taylor, Victoria Island, Lagos. She was the CEO of TYNTT Fashion, and Nicole Celebrations before she answered the call of God. Pastor Olanike attended Baptist College of Theology in Lagos and received many awards as the best graduating student in 2020. She also attended the Nigerian Baptist Theological Seminary, Umosho, for a master's degree in theology with specialization in Christian preaching. She is presently undergoing a Doctor of Philosophy in the same field. She is currently the youth minister at Fellowship Baptist Church, Agungileki, Lagos. And she's gifted in teaching, preaching, counseling, faith encouragement, hospitality, and leadership. Pastor Olanike Oyewusi is happily married to Abayomi Oyewusi, and the marriage is blessed with Toluwani, Tomiloba, Tobalashe, and Tosin, to the glory of God. Women in the house, gentlemen that have come to grace this occasion, please make welcome Pastor Olanike Oyewusi to the stage. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much. Okay, so for all the other speakers, we've read your profiles. Yeah. Please, you will be on this panel, and we just want to explore. It's the Women's History Month, and for the Women's International Day celebration, we had a theme which says Inspire Inclusion. So from your own perspectives, we would like to know what your own description of what Inspire Inclusion means. And of course, a gentleman in the house has already asked a question, and that question was directed to Ruth Ezenibe Carlo, but we'll get there soon. But I'll just go around and start with the panelists, and that will start from Chinelo. What is your own description, or what would you have to say about the theme for this year's International Women's Day celebration, Inspire Inclusion? What comes to mind?
Okay, thank you, Esther. Thank you to previous speakers. I've learned a lot myself just sitting through the session. So thank you, Tia, for organizing this. I think that it's important that every opportunity we get, we create the avenue for, just for women to also see opportunities where they can learn and grow. And so to your question, Esther, when we talk of inspiring inclusion, for me, it's about how do we create an enabling environment for women to grow and thrive and contribute, whether it's in the workplace or in the society. I think some of the speakers already said something around the lines of the way that traditionally or culturally, the society puts us in a box, right? And so now, even though I know that some companies are trying to do a lot of things to say, how can we include women? Women are minority in a lot of the male-dominated industries like mine. And then we're talking about how can we include women? How can we make sure that they feel included and that they have the opportunity to thrive? And we talk about a lot of things. I mean, in my organization, we have opportunities for mentoring, where we give women indeterminate opportunities to share experiences or to match with people across the group, senior people who would also help them through their career journey, who would help them build network, and who will help them navigate challenges in the workplace. And so mentoring is key, but also is you want to create a safe space for women to be able to express themselves. You know that the truth is, however we want to talk about it, we are still so far from this whole gender equality thing. I know that globally people are trying, but we are the journey is still a long one, because if you're in an organization and you have your counterparts, male counterparts in the room, and you're trying to be as assertive as them doing conversations or stuff, you realize that it may be informal, it may be thrown around jokingly, but there is now this labeling that, oh, you're a Margaret Thatcher, or oh, boss lady, and it's thrown around jokingly, but excuse me, why is it that it's the female ones that get labeled and not the male counterparts, right? And so things like that tend to also limit women and shrink them and say, oh, I don't want to say so much so people don't feel like I'm being too much. And that way you're not going to be able to unlock the person's potential, right? And so we are saying, how can we create an enabling environment for women to feel like they can be who they are and they can thrive in the organization? And I mean, I know that other speakers will speak, but also there are some peculiarities that come with being a woman. Have we accommodated those, and have we made sure that women feel they bring their whole self to the work, and they can give their whole self, and the environment is conducive for them to. So I think that we can start there, and the whole work-life balance thing is, how do we, I think women can really, create boundaries, to be honest. I do it now. And so some of my reports, they came to me and said, Madam, every time we send mail on Saturday, you don't respond. I'm like, oh, sorry. I will respond on Monday. And if you look at it, nothing really spoils. Nothing spoils really. And once you've created that boundary, people know that you do not respond to mails weekends, for instance, because listen, there is mail in your phone, there is work everywhere. How do you focus and also give your family time? I do want to have time for my family, for my children and stuff like that. I also don't want my mom calling me doing work hours, my sister call. Just create boundaries and let people know, and they will adjust and feel comfortable in doing what makes you thrive in your chosen career. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well articulated. So create boundaries. If there's nothing, if you are not going to take anything else from this, create boundaries. Creating boundaries does not mean you're shutting people out. Creating boundaries is part of work-life balance, actually, right? Thank you so much for that, Chinelo. Pastor Nike, over to you. So what is your own description around the theme, inspire inclusion? Please, can you unmute? Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you for all our speakers. In fact, I've gained a lot this evening, and I'm so grateful for being here. When we are talking about inclusion, investing in women, for me, it means creating an inclusive environment for women to strive. giving them the latitude, the ability to make decisions, the ability to decide on what they want to do without being forced. Many a times women are being forced, are put in a box to be able to do what people say they should do, or what the community says they should do, or what traditions say they should do. But when we have the latitude to make decisions, without being forced, that is what it means for me. That is inclusion. Because we realize that when women are being invested, when we invest in the life of our women, there is a smart way for economic growth. It creates an enabling environment because you see, we are gifted in the area of nurturing. And if we have to nurture people, we must be mentally balanced to be able to give back to the society, to be able to give even for our families, to anyone we come in contact with. But a woman that is not mentally balanced, that is caged, cannot really be able to give her best to whatever she wants to do. As has been said earlier on, women, we're over almost 50% of the population in Nigeria. And that potential is being left behind. But imagine if the women are being invested into and they're able to bring in their own whatever they have to the table. You cannot imagine how far we can go, even as a nation. So women need to be given an enabling environment so that they can thrive, so that they are empowered, they have fulfillment in life. They can grow and the society will be a better place for everybody. When women are when they are invested into, when their lives are being invested into, realize that the people they come in contact with are blessed through them because they have something to give. But when they are not exposed, they don't have that kind of environment, they are not able to explore. You see, there are so many things women can do, but they have been limited because of the kind of environment we find ourselves. For the fact that a woman alone is like a taboo, there is something that is already placed on you. There's a limitation. Oh, she's a woman. Oh, how can a man be talking and a woman too is talking? How can a woman take this kind of position? So, but I think it is time for us to be able to try and put in our best and be confident of who we are, to know that we are more than able to do whatever we can think about. We can achieve it. Someone was sharing with me that she wanted to get married, and the guy that she wanted to marry said, whatever she says must be the final, that she doesn't have anything to say. And she said, what? Don't you think I have sense? Don't you think I can think? I actually went to school so that I can think, I can contribute to. But if you feel that you are the only one that has everything, that has all the wisdom, that has all the knowledge, then I don't think this can work. And that's this kind of situation that so many women find themselves today. They have a lot to contribute, but they are being caged. Some cannot express themselves. So I think when we include women, we are enlarging our capacity, even as a nation, as a family, as a community, anywhere we find ourselves, realize that we have a better nation and a growing community. Thank you very much. Wow, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. When you empower the woman, you're actually increasing the society. And you spoke about giving women the latitude to grow, to develop, to expand, empower them. Thank you so much, Pastor Nike. Vivian, are you still with us? Vivian Osigwe, can you hear me? Hi, Vivian. Okay. Dr. Precious, can you hear me? Ruth, I might have to come to you right now, okay? What is your own take on the Inspire Inclusion theme?
All right, thank you, Esther, for that. My own take for Inspire Inclusion, it simply means equipping a woman. When you equip a woman with the right resources and the opportunity for her to thrive, that enabling environment in terms of be it economic growth, be it your personal growth or also professional growth, that leverage alone, she has wings to fly. The sky is big enough for everyone to thrive. The only thing is, do you have that drive, that push? Do you have that inbuilt self-motivation to be who you want to be. There are no limitations. We are the ones that set the limitations as human beings. The society set the limitations for women. But as a woman, if you are empowered with information, you already know, okay, deep inside me, I can be whoever I want to be. The Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the Dr. Okonjo Iwealas, and Ebumo Abdul in the entertainment industry, the Vivian Osigwe's. Yeah, I can be whoever I want to be. There are no limitations holding me. Only what I need is the drive to push the self-motivation inside of me. That is what I need to thrive. The sky is big enough for us to achieve. It's a human being that sets this limitation that in Nigeria, can a woman ever be a president? Those are societal limitations. Inspire inclusion. I can have a mentor that I look up to. She directs me, but then again, she would not force me. She just sets the pace. I follow, I walk, I try as much as possible. Then with her own help, it brings out that potential inside of me to thrive in this world, to thrive as a human being, to bring up young girls because they are looking up to us. Our daughters, I have a daughter, she's very inquisitive. She asks a lot of questions, and I wouldn't want to put out all my energy at work, all my volunteer. Then when I get home, I tell her I'm tired. Oh my God, tomorrow she comes, I'm tired. Then the society would teach her either the right way or the wrong way. So no matter how tired I am, I'm a very busy person at my own pace for now. I try as much as possible. Family is first for me. My family is first. I want to make sure that I try as much as possible and balance it. So while I'm out there inspiring, will my home front suffer? No, definitely not. So I'll try as much as possible, start the inspiration, the empowerment from my girl child. And that is why the girl child is very key to me. They are the generation coming, not just what I want to achieve, but are they looking up to me? Are they trying as much as possible in this Gen Z world where information is everywhere? During my own time, did I have a social media account? Did I see some certain things that are actually feeding our children? So irrespective of, okay, I give an example. You set you put a cap probably in the DSTV, don't watch within this time. Then the internet, you put a cap, you sync everything to your system. They still find a way. Children of nowadays have codes to communicate. So as a mother, what do? Try as much as possible, not just the girl child, because there are also pressures on the girl child. You know, we do it unconsciously. We do it unconsciously. Won't you join me in the kitchen while the boy is there playing the video game? Won't you put food for your daddy? Oh, have you set the plate? Have you, you know, we also, as women with information in our own place, also put these barriers and bias on our girl child. So inspiring inclusion in my own context and the way I see it is to harness that potential inside of me, to also impact others, to empower others, to inspire others, and they would also have this playing ground, which I'm privileged to have. And at the end of the day, once we do it within our homes, within our community, the world at large, I tell you, will be a better place. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I totally agree with what you said. Let that inspiration start from you. Okay. Because of course, you cannot give out what you don't have. You can't pour into a cup from a jug that is empty. You're only pouring emptiness. So let it start from us. Let it start from us and then let it spread. Thank you so much, Ruth, for that. Vivian, you're back. So yes, thank you for joining us again. And thank you for staying this long. So the question is, the theme for the International Women's Day has been tagged Inspire Inclusion, which was yesterday, well celebrated. right? So what is your own take? How do you describe Inspire Inclusion?
So it's like a one-stop shop for me. I love the use of those two words, inspiring inclusion, not just getting inclusion. How do you inspire in the first place? How do you make the other person look up to, inclusion in your day-to-day? How are you able to include the girl child, the woman in key decision-making process? How are you able to include them on and off the boardroom? I mean, in my previous life, we had a ratio of 1 to 10 for the executive directors. And I always saw that as very, very unfair because the company cared a lot about its outlook, in the global markets. And so the first thing I'd said to myself is, in my little way, when we were like what, a 5-man team, the woman can rise to the post of GM, can even replace me as MD, and it starts from as little as when you're taking in coppers. The inclusion starts from there. I mean, for us women, the inclusion even starts from our homes. How are we equipping our girl child to be able to stand head to head with the male gender in a classroom, in competitions, in the church, everywhere? How are we inspiring that? You inspire that by being the role model. You inspire that not just by words or action, but by them seeing it. That's how you inspire inclusion. How do we get included in everything? You're setting up a committee. How many women are on that committee? Be it committee in the church. How many women are there? Don't say this matter is sensitive, is for only the male pastors. You're setting up a board. How many women are there? You're making strategic decisions. How many women are there? In your place of work, you're making critical decisions. How many women are there? Your executive directors, how many women are there? Are you comfortable? Am I comfortable leaving one of my businesses to a female to head as MD? Am I comfortable? How are we inspiring this inclusion, not just executing inclusion? How are we inspiring it? I think it's really, really deep, because when you talk about inspiration, then there's inspiration, there's admiration. You need to play a role in it. The next woman there, the next girl child there needs to see you and want to also imbibe inclusion. So for us, for me personally, inspiring inclusion is very, very deep. It's about you including the girl child in everything. My father willed all his, in fact, he sat us down and was saying, I know you are the firstborn, but I think your brother is an only boy. It was really sick. He thought he was going to die. He started giving speech. All my properties, in our culture, please, in your culture, in the days of your forefathers, why do you have to carry it to this day and time? Why would you will all your property to the only boy in the house? And guess what? My mother did the same thing. Maybe she's a woman. It's so easy to look outwards. It starts from the inside. How are you inspiring inclusion? Please, why shouldn't properties be divided equally among all children in your various wills? Forget about the fact that the girl will get married and her surname will change. Why are properties being given to the male child that can retain the name of? So inspiring inclusion is across board, though. It's across board, from the inside to the outside, to the society, to the church, to your place of work, to your family. In our family, in the Igbo culture, does the girl child get anything? It's left at the discretion of the male child. Everything is given to the male child, the boys in the family, and is left at their discretion to say, okay, I want to give my sister this. Okay, I want to give my... So inspiring inclusion is really, really deep, especially in the cultural context. So it starts now. It starts now. It's not a battle we're going to win overnight, but it's getting a lot of traction. We can see a lot of ministers are now women. We're waiting for the day our presidential candidates, woman, would win and rule Nigeria. We're already seeing female presidents, emerging. We're routing for, even in America, we're routing for female presidents. And so inspiring inclusion is deep. Let's start the journey now. We will get there. Let's start the journey now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The journey starts now for everyone. It starts now. It starts now. Everybody has, in fact, all the people that spoke, they said, let it start with you. Let it start from here. Let it start from the home. And that is what it is. Charity will always begin from the inside before it goes outside. Right. Thank you so much. Dr. Precious, what are you going to say about Inspire Inclusion?
Okay, thank you for this. So I was listening to Vivian and I was just nodding. I was listening to Ruth and I was just nodding. Okay, so for I'm going to give you an instance. For our dental clinic, we are all female. Yes. Aside from the security man, everyone in the clinic, all women. Even when we're employing men, they have to work. Sorry, I think my network again. Please indicate if you can hear me, Esther, please.
I can hear you.
Okay, so even when we're employing male, it's usually the engineers that come in to do this, and and what we also try to build a sisterhood at the clinic. Whatever is wrong with you is wrong with me. Whatever affects you affects me. So we have this open communication, and what we also try to do is at least every Wednesday we have a sit down. Oh, how was last week? What happened last week? Tell me about last week. Then we also made it a goal to try to inspire young ladies to go into dentistry. Honestly, dentistry is we have a very small community. And when we look at the ratio men to women is quite low. So we try to say, okay, this year we are going to get 5 people to inspire them to become dentists. And I would say for our 2024 goal, we've actually surpassed that already. So what am I saying? We try our best to carry ourselves along. We also, I'm going to say, okay, for me, I partner with as my profile says, I volunteer a lot. So I actually have my own foundation, and also in partnership with the LD Girl Child Foundation, where we only focus on young girls. So we do Pad a Girl, which means we go around from schools to schools, to educate them on the importance of LD menstruation and protecting yourself properly. But we also invite other female speakers to give general talk. It can be about business, it can be about general education. Basically, I'm trying not to to bore us. So what we do is we move around. We move from Ibadan. The last one we did was at Ibadan, so we're going to move to Ilorin later this year, things like that. Okay, so we have another program coming up in July, which is this is Perfect Smile Health Initiative, right? So what we are trying to do is to treat 1,500 people. Now, what have we done differently? Yes, we are actually focused on the dental part. Yes, treat 1,500 people, which is to extract, clean their teeth, and also give replaceable dentures if possible, but we are also going to be partnering with other organizations that focus on women's health. So we're going to be doing the maternal and child. We're going to give pre-kits for kits they need for their first day in the hospitals. We're going to give them mosquito nets. Then we're also going to have psychologists on ground to speak especially to women on their mental health and their mental state. So inclusivity for me is very important. So for me, I grew up around law. My dad was someone that was a great feminist. He taught me what what being a feminist is all about, And we lost him recently. But what he did was to tell his brothers, do not try my daughters. My daughters are like men. So if they tell you this is where I want to be buried, this is where I want to be buried. If they tell you this, when we went to the village for the burial, which was my first time in the village, I was worried because they don't know me. I've always been here or there traveling for one program or another. So I was really scared. But he has laid the ground rules already. And surprisingly, they followed it. So I was like, oh, you know what? I want us to dig his grave here. They're like, oh, how deep? And we buried him. I will not lie to you. Till now, I'm like, okay, is somebody going to come to fight me somewhere and say, you are all girls? Where is this property? Where is this? Nothing like that. I'm not going to say they did not try, but the man has also told them his children are are lioness and all of that. So inclusivity is very important, very, 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 very important to me and also people around me. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Thank you so much for the examples. That's so perfect. I like your dad, he understands, yes, he understands what all these things are. And women are actually not just building the paths, they are building the paths and they are laying gold as they're walking. That's what women are doing right now. Even where men are dreading to tread, they are not just treading, they are treading and they are making waves. So thank you so much. The girl child is what it is. We are champions. Yes, I know, Ruth, you have answered one question. Somebody asked you a question right there, but I'll still come and so that people will hear it and then understand. Tokwe, you say you won't have something to say about Inspire Inclusion. Let's hear you. Some few minutes. You are muted. TA, you wanted to talk?
Yeah. Thank you, Esther. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for all the speakers. It's actually very interesting listening to you, and I think I'm very happy that we do this because I feel it is very necessary, especially the topic, investment in women, accelerated progress. Just shows the ability, the capacity, that including women in several projects of endeavors can yield. Inspired inclusion in the context of this year's International Women's Day celebration suggests a deliberate, proactive approach to including women from diverse backgrounds and experiences in all aspects of society, which can include representation that some of us have spoken about. I think Vivian emphasized that, and also Precious. Equal opportunities, creating opportunity for women to thrive professionally and personally, free from discrimination or biases. And even these biases are it's also another thing I want to quickly touch. Gender bias has deep roots in society norms, cultural practices, historical precedents, and psychological mechanisms such as socialization. Taking the word right for Vivian, talking about distribution of wills, and it's funny because the truth is the discussion or conversation around women inclusion, gender equality have been on for years, and it's funny that we still hear some things, like, oh, you don't do this because you're a woman, or because it's for women and all of that. It's funny. So how do we correct this? Socialization from early childhood, individuals are socialized into specific gender roles where boys and girls are often treated differently. And I was having a conversation with Dr. Precious 2 days or 3 days ago. She was telling me, briefing me how her father, raised her, gave her some lessons, and expose us to some things men do, so that when she go out, or she grow up, she grow out, and none of those things sound strange to her. And yeah, I think it's that time we need to start, because a lot of time we're having this discussion and we keep repeating the stereotypes, the mistake, the bias. Oh, you are telling the younger ones, oh, why don't your sister cannot carry, don't you know she's a girl? You don't talk to your sister like that, don't you know she's a girl? We are equal before God, and we need to start making our people believe that, cultural beliefs and tradition. Many cultures have uh, entrenched belief about the roles and capabilities of men and women. And these beliefs are often passed down through generations and can perpetuate gender bias by limiting opportunities and expectations based on gender, which is not supposed to be. Men have typically held positions of powers and authority, while women have been relegated to domestic roles of supporting. Look at our politics system. When the issue of or the topic of gender equality begin to gain ground, now, in order to give women some sense of belonging, and that, oh, we recognize the role of women, we believe in gender equality, they bring men as for a governorship or presidential candidates, then the deputy will be women. All of these are tactics used by politicians but that does not really mean that we are fully in support of this gender equality, or that we are exhibiting this trait of gender equality that we have so much been talking about. My message to women is, maybe another year or next year, maybe the topic for International Women's Day should be women supporting women. And we need to be sincere to ourselves. Yeah, we need to be sincere to ourselves. We've had women, another challenge to you women. We've had women who have summoned courage to step into politics, to, contest in a men-dominated, society, clubs. It starts from there, from that club, that club of 10 men, of 10 people, that club of 20 people. And you women, how many of you have rise up to support these women, to say, this is what we have been fighting for? And again, I also want to tell you, because these are the things that we need to be very, very careful. Yeah, because some people, that is why we, the knowledgeable people, we must step up in creating and sustaining the kind of society that we want to see. In every conversation like this, people take it to extreme, where you now begin to see, oh, women talking or advocating for equality are seen as, oh, they are arrogant, talking about the issue of feminism, where young girls take it out of context, There is no contest here. It's just, we are just saying to ourselves, look, you be a man. Your woman does not have to do everything. That does not mean that in no situation, yeah, men have to do this. We need to balance it. Are you getting my point now? Oh, that if you have it, because we are saying men should be able to go into the kitchen and cook when the wife cannot do it, does not mean that is the primary responsibility of man to do. Are you getting it? It's about who is available, who can do it, if the man have the understanding. But we see these are the things that a problem that have existed for years that cannot be resolved in one day. And if you don't project ourselves in the way we should, certain things are taken out of context, and the fight for or the advocacy for gender equality will not be achieved. Yeah, thank you so much. You great women have done so much through this presentation. I'm so glad, and we are going to share this message on YouTube. We pray it go viral, because our society needs women of intellectual capacity, women of understanding. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, TA. Thank you for that contribution. Okay, so one more round, and then we just quickly wrap up, and then we take this question and some others. So I remember having a discussion on one platform, and then they were asking about the theme too, about inspire inclusion at the workplace and all that. And here's what I will just read out what I said in that platform. I said, for me, treat others the way they want to be treated. That's the platinum rule. You know, the golden rule has always been do unto others what you want them to do. But now, treat others not the way you think they should be treated, but treat them the way they want to be treated. That's inclusion. Don't tell me you understand my pains, my frustrations, my mood swings, my discomfort when I am pregnant, because you feel it is the right thing to say to me at that time, just to sound like you care. Don't tell me it is not in my place to say certain things or make certain suggestions or recommendations during meetings because I'm a female or a junior staff or not in the protected class. Don't pay a male counterpart above me because he's a male, even though we are on the same level with the same criteria for pay classification. And of course, do not switch to your local dialect. When I appear, because you know I don't understand your dialect, then you just quickly switch and you're smiling. And then don't stylishly insult my dressing, my accent, my tribe, my religion, openly, and you're laughing, and you're saying it's just a joke now. All these do not inspire inclusion. The fact that I'm a woman, the fact that I'm a junior staff, the fact I'm not in your protected class, right, doesn't give you that right to stylishly and openly talk to me anyhow. Oh, sorry. Oh, you have already done the deed. How do you inspire inclusion in that way? So over to you, ladies. What do you say about this when it comes to inspiring inclusion? People just come and then they'll tell you it's a joke. They're laughing. Ah, Esther, this is your dressing. They'll be like, where they go pick up from Abba for bend down boutique. Or this your dressing. Ah, why the shoe just bend, one go, one go. How do you do that? Right? And the person is laughing and smiling and saying it's just a joke. You know? And you keep wondering. I remember being on just a female person in the management team. I was just a female. Yes, my organization is telecoms, engineering, purely male dominated. And most times I'll just tell them, you guys are not caring enough. And, you know, I started beating it into their heads. When it's time for recruitment, they'll say, no, I think the hiring manager will say, yes, I want a male because of I say, why not a female? Tell me, what's the job description? Draft it and let me see why a woman cannot take it. So I started building it into them. A whole lot of arguments and all that. And you see the women coming in and doing great things. So inspiring inclusion cuts across. So what you have to say about, you know, people you are just discussing, and then somebody just stylishly throws it at you. And then he's laughing. It's just a joke now, you know, and making caricature of it. What's your take? So I'll start with Chinelu again.
Okay. So Esther, I think and I was just laughing when you were saying all this because
I mean, those are practical things, right? And I think you practically covered some of these things. The truth is, like somebody said, the talk around inspiring inclusion is such a big topic. I'm sure that we can stay here all day and we'll not be able to unpack everything really, because so many things. I mean, you spoke about recruitment, we see that all the time. And just profiling women to say, please go find a guy because you know a woman cannot do this job. Why? And again, is already there is a huge gap when we talk about when we even come to recruitment for some roles. You know that typically men do engineering courses a lot, for instance. And so when you advertise for some roles, you already have 95 or 98% applicants as males. Like, what can we do intentionally to attract women? Go and look for them and say, come. We're not going to compromise on the requirements or the merits of that job, but attract them first and say, come and apply and then see if it's something that you want to progress with. And then to come to what you spoke about in terms of in the office, and this was what I was talking about, is how women are easily labeled or demeaned, because those are, they use those demeaning words and then they say it's a joke. I would always say to the woman, you have to call out such behavior immediately and you have to say, it makes me uncomfortable and it's not acceptable, right? Because it's discriminatory and nobody is going to give their best in an environment where you're telling me, oh, this perfume is cheap or your clothes is from Aba or whatever the banter is. I don't
Yeah.
want it, right? And they do this just to sometimes just to alienate you, shrink you, and like I said, in terms of being expressive, you're not your full self. You don't want to say certain things so
Yeah.
that these jokes will not keep going on and on. If we don't call it out, it will keep happening,
Yeah.
right? And so we have to call it out and say, I'm uncomfortable with this, and you're not going to continue doing this. And I do believe, like, I mean, most organizations now are also putting policies in place, anti-discrimination policies, and things like that, strong grievance procedures and stuff like that check these behaviors. The thing there is, in some cases, people don't want to come out because it will look like but I usually would tell people, especially if you look at such conversations, the person is toning it down what they are doing and saying, no, now can't you take a joke? It's a joke. And you'll be surprised if a woman is there, they will say, Abi, I think he's joking now. Excuse me, madam. What kind of joke is this? Why wouldn't you joke like this with my male counterparts, right? And stuff like that. And so, and that is it. And another thing is, and I want to say this because I know that women as well, we need to also start to have confidence in ourselves. We need to build our self-worth. You're worthy of your success, and so be confident and comfortable in having success. Put out your best foot. You have to be competent in what you do. Again, is that in certain roles, I think in all roles, women have to almost like prove themselves times two before anybody takes us seriously, right? And then that sexual undertone that they usually attach to a woman starts to die down, and they're saying that you know what you're talking about and you're really an expert in this field and you're started to take seriously. And for me, you need to own it. You need to keep developing yourself. Somebody spoke about self-development. You need to keep developing yourself. You need to keep being, I mean, just see opportunities and seize them. If you achieve something and somebody compliments it, please don't say, it's not that great. No, no, no. What did I do now? Please don't say that.
Yeah. Yeah, so let me quickly say something here, Chinelo, because you see, this particular uh, one you are talking about is even women, that women attack their fellow women. You
Yeah.
see, women are so brilliant. For me, I've actually realized this long ago that it's not about comparison. God have just created women with some innate capacity and ability, to do things differently. So naturally you have it. That's why I was trying to, maybe one day we are going to talk about, go back into history about how gender bias actually come to. I'm interested in that particular topic, right? Because women, you have it all. Like be it at work, when you see when you are brilliant, right? Whether you are a man or you are a woman. So, and you see, we men, when we men that have ability to do things at work, in the workplace, you just come out and be yourself and do it. Nobody really care whether you work under a woman. Probably, let me use the right word now. Whether you are a subordinate to a woman, a woman is the superior. Nobody really look at it like, oh, Tokpa is doing well. Tokpa is being recognized because he's probably going out with Chinelo. Are you getting my point? But
Yeah.
it's a general thing for even women to tag their fellow women when they see that this lady is just thriving, she's any promotion. And I work in a particular place. A young lady came,
So true.
younger, I think she was less than 25 years at the time, but she was already an MSc holder. Are you getting my point? Very brilliant, sharp, and being she was cited by or recognized by the leaders in that particular workplace. She came, I mean, well, I'm talking about the lady that have just spent 2 years, and she met some people who have spent 10 years, 15 years. And within the space of 2 years, this lady has already become HOD. Is it, what do you call that person you use as HOD? Is it interim or something? Interim HOD or something, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Representative, HOD representative or something like that, because the HOD left. And before you know it, the news was everywhere. I wasn't at the head office at the time, so I was learning the gist. I won't mention the name. This person, that person, oh,
Is it just me or is TA's network wobbling?
TA's network.
Okay. So, but I think what he's saying is exactly what we are talking about in terms of
Exactly.
even women. So they will now say, "Oh, maybe she's sleeping with somebody. That's why she's growing so fast." But
Mm,
nobody says the same thing when it's our male counterpart growing at the same rate or
mm,
pace as the female.
mm,
So, and you also see, women also we need to just like take note of some things. Some women may even say, this one is just to be working. What of the children? She does not even look after her family.
mm,
When does she go home? And I usually would tell women, block the noise and focus on your goal, because people will always make noise, people will say things and all. That's not your problem. Block it, focus on your focus. For those that will speak English, focus on your focus, and you just know where you're going to. Keep at it, be resilient because challenges will come. People will try to pull you down, people will try to demean you one way or the other, disrespect you, stuff like that. Don't let anything stop you. It's not an easy journey, but can we make it to where we want to be? Absolutely. And we've seen women who do that day in, day out, great women winning all the time, regardless of these same challenges. If they can do it, I can do it, and so can you. And
Yeah.
so for me, it's, you are who you are, own it. Take the accolades, take the win, push through the challenges, and just keep going. I mean, yeah.
Thanks, Chinelo. And thanks,
Thank you, Chinelo. I needed
wonderful
this. Wonderful.
panel.
nice. Okay, so my network is back. Okay.
Yeah, I think
So I agree with you. I agree with you, Chinelo. I am more of a storyteller, and I want to just tell one or two stories. Even in this 2024, about 2 weeks ago, a patient walked into my clinic and was asking for the male doctor. Oh, you are the nurse? Can you call the doctor for me? I was
exactly.
like, oh, I'm actually the doctor. My picture is plastered everywhere on Google. You did check us on Google. Oh, I thought you actually the nurse. Okay, how many years experience do you have? Where did you school? Yes, he started to ask me a lot of questions. You know,
Wow.
I was answering his questions, and he said, okay, is it possible you get me a male specialist? So even in 2024, it happens even to doctors. And for me, it doesn't even happen often because I'm in the private sector.
Yeah,
Imagine what our female doctors in government hospitals are facing, in public hospitals are facing.
sure.
During COVID-19, it was more of, okay, let the men move forward because a lot of people were asking questions. I had a lot of female colleagues talk about the harassment they go through just because they're women. And Tia was talking about how most times we are the cause of our own issue. I was going for a surgery, I think around 8:30 a.m. So I didn't have the time to make breakfast. But I was super hungry. And I saw this lady hawking food. I said, you know what? I will nothing will happen to me. I'm going to eat this food in peace. There won't be any diarrhea or anything, right? So I stopped the woman and I said, oh, I want to get food. She said, I can't sell to you because you're a woman. It's early in the morning. I need she said it in Yoruba, um that she needs a man to give her money first so that her day will be productive.
Hmm.
Was I was confused. I said, sorry, maybe I don't understand your Yoruba that well. Hold on. So there was a security man nearby and I asked him because she had the food on her head. So she said even a woman would not bring the food down. So I saw a security man nearby. I was like, Uncle, please, do you understand? I understand Yoruba, but I felt maybe I did not understand the depth of what she was saying. And
Particular.
yes, because so the man came and said, oh, he repeated it and said, she can't sell to you because you're a woman. So he started telling me about how sometimes when we are on our period, it can affect. So
Wow.
it was layers upon layers. I was like, no, I don't need this, and I just drove off. He said sometimes when we're on our period, it can cause their day to be bad, their day to be unproductive. Like we will stain. And I was like, no, I should have stopped where she said she can't sell to a woman. I should have just stopped right there and and I just drove up. So yes, for me, I've been tagged a rebel because I have been taught to be very expressive. I have fought where some of my colleagues will say, leave us now. This one that they said we women should not do anything. Don't you know it's part of resting for us? An example, we're told to be on night duties and the roster came out. I did not see my name. I was not looking at it that, oh, I did not see other women's name. Mine is I did not see my name. And I started to raise, and I said, oh, why is my name not yet? Oh, no, no, we don't want to stress you. For me, that is a learning opportunity. When I'm on night duties, you get to see more patients and you get to learn more. Like when it is, especially for dentistry, we don't always do night calls. And I started to fight for it. And some of my female colleagues were like, no. Don't you know they just want us to rest? They don't want, the dangers. I said, they are going out every day. There's danger everywhere.
Exactly.
There's danger everywhere. So let me put my head there. So so I've been known, I'm a known rebel because I always express myself. And in the situation where Esther was telling us about um, um, certain men, not all men, certain men making snide comments about our outfit, our dressing, you just have to be expressive. For me, I am all about mental health, but I still focus on female mental health. I focus more on our health because we need to know our body. As I was discussing in my lecture, I spoke about our hormonal imbalance. You need to know your body. You need to know when you are in the mood. And I kept using the word mood. You need to know when you are in the mood and when you are not. Because sometimes when our hormones change and we are in a bad mood, we tend to also doubt ourselves, as Chinelo has said. We have this self-doubt. So we need to know ourselves and have our manifestation pad or manifestation book ready every time. For me, I have sticky notes almost everywhere in my bedroom for the days that I'm not feeling too okay. During our period, we know our body changes, we are craving this, we are craving that, we don't want to talk to people. I go to my room, the pathway is for for my monthly, my monthly visitor, and I go to that part and I start reading it. You are good, you are beautiful, and so on. So we need to know our body, and we need to have plans, or should I say manifestation, for each stage, or each stage that we are going through at the moment. Right? Know your body. Know when your body is going to try to betray you, because it starts with our thoughts. You might dress so beautifully well. You wore that clothes a month ago. You know that that clothes is a killer, but it gets to a particular part where your estrogen is low, and you wear that same clothes, and you're also doubting yourself. So when somebody comes to you to say something at that moment when you're putting on such a clothes, you should be ready to defend yourself. You should be ready to stop that, even when another lady is by the side, because most times these men pick up courage from women like us. As TA said, maybe next year should be women supporting women, because it starts with us. It starts with us. When they notice that, okay, in a workplace, there are 5 women, and these 5 women are sticking together. I cannot talk to Chinelo anyhow. Vivian is going to attack me. I cannot talk to Vivian anyhow. Ruth is going to attack me. There will be no, because we always see the other gender, and that's men, and we tell them, oh, you look handsome today, oh, this suit looks nice on you. So it will take them nothing to reciprocate. So when at least 5 of us are together, we don't necessarily have to be should I say friends per se, but we are in the same workplace, and they know that we will stick together no matter what. I think that is also a way to.
Let me just speak to something you said, Doctor, just before somebody else takes the talk. Is around the mental health thing, because I know that women can be so self-critical and we can overthink. Most times we overthink things, we judge ourselves so harshly and stuff like that. And I've usually said to people that, so it's good if you have the things that are working well, that you can always say to yourself, these ones are working well, leverage on it, leverage on your support system, and don't let things that are not working well put you down. And then also is to say, if you have a mentor, I think Vivian said something around guided mentorship, because these people have been through this stage that you're going through now. And some of these mentorship or mentoring relationship, a lot of these things we discuss, some of them are personal, confidential, things you don't feel comfortable speaking to other people about. You can actually, that's a safe space where you can talk to your mentor, and maybe the person will lift your spirit and stuff like that. So I just wanted to yield my voice to that, to say that that's also a powerful tool where we can leverage on and help each other out.
Okay. Let me just add briefly. I think we have said it all. We have done justice to this topic. I just want to say that let us be intentional about the inclusion of women in every facet of life. And let it start from us, even as Vivian said. Let it start from me, you, every one of us as women. Because sometimes you see a lot of women that are in their comfort zone and they don't really want to come out. They are comfortable there. They don't want to come out. We need to identify the gifts in their lives and bring them out. And there are so many women that have risen as a result of that because someone identified the gift in their lives. So I think we need to be more intentional about it, to reach out to them and be a blessing to our generation. Then let us also be able to give them the confidence that they need to believe in themselves. And they should not let anybody limit them. They should not let anyone limit them. And they should not limit themselves because sometimes women too, we can limit ourselves. So we should stand up for our rights. We should speak out when we need to speak out. We should create boundaries. Sometimes as I think it was Chinedo that said it, that sometimes we Esther was the one that started that. Sometimes we let people treat us the way they want, but we need to let them know how they should treat us, how we need to be treated. And that's why we need to create boundaries so that no one can just treat us anyhow. I will not be worried it will affect our mental health, because it's very, very important for us if we make impact in our generation. Then let us lift one another up. I love that topic that Topper said, that possibly next year is going to be women lifting up women elevating women. We need to lift one another up. Even if a woman has made a mistake, we can still encourage that kind of person and still bring her up than castigating her, pulling her down and all that. Because those are some of the things that make some women be in their shell. They don't want to come out because they feel that, they can't do it well. When they make mistake, people will look down on them. Because women have a multiplier effect when their lives, when they are being invested upon. Because when a woman has all what it takes, it affects her family. She make good decisions to be able to, in the kind of schools that our children attend, the kind of food she put on the table, people she come in contact with, how she influences them positively. So it's very, very important that it starts with us and we mentor someone. I think it's something that we need to do, mentor someone. Let us hold someone in the hand, in the church, in our community, in our families, in the marketplace, in our office. Let us just hold someone in our hands and say, no, you two must rise. You must be this and you can be it. I think if we begin to do all those things, it will help us and we'll see a great improvement in our world. Thank you.
Tia, you're on mute if you're speaking.
I think we can close. People are already.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you all for your contribution and thank you for your time. We really appreciate you being here. And lastly, Steve, the question that was directed to Ruth, I'm not sure you answered that question. I'm trying to find it in the chat box. I'm not sure I have it anymore on my own end. Tia, please, do you have the question on your end? Tia, can you hear me? I think you're muted because I can see you're trying to speak. I cannot hear you. I still cannot hear you. Can anyone hear me? Can anyone hear Tia?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So which means it's from TFN.
Okay. Sorry, you were asking about what was your question, please?
Yes. So I was trying to fetch the question that was asked earlier. In the chat box. I think it was from Henry. I think he was trying to ask about how men can be inclusive.
Okay.
Or I'm not sure how the question is.
Okay, Ruth answered that question.
Oh,
she answered in the chat box. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everyone. Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry, I couldn't unmute myself.
Yes,
I don't know what happened.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay,
Yes,
interesting. So thank you so much. I think we are going to like 3 hours now, and we can continue on and on and on. A lot has been said. Let us all go there. All of us will be advocate of what? Advocate of equality, gender equality, advocate of love, advocate of peace, advocate of progress. Everybody deserves to be happy. But you know, one thing about this thing is that I see some people that do this thing, like I said earlier, is they use it as a tactics. So all of a sudden you become your common enemy. How will I put it? They said common. We don't have a common. Okay, politicians don't have a common. They don't have enemies. They just have common interest, right? There's no enmity in politics, and they just have common interest. I'm not particularly attacking politicians, so I'm just using this as an example, because politics. There is politics in every aspect of our life, being it in the home, being it in the workplace, and all of that. So an attack in a woman is an attack on all. An attack on a woman is an attack on all, whether you are a man or you are a woman, because that same tactics will still be repeated on you, regardless of your gender. So we will continue to have this discussion. We'll bring you back. Thank you so much to all our guest speakers. I hope that you will